the radio on, ear to the band, eyes on the spots, phone in his hand. With ham alerts pinging, he's ready to go. Every top activator he's gotta know. His rig's on fire and his mindset tight, chasing down calls through day and night. From park to park, he's taking them down, breaking the pop-ups best around. He's the hunter, stalking the air, no time to waste, he's everywhere. Watching the spots, fire in his eye. When he calls you, you can't deny. The hunter's coming, and he's coming fast. Every call he makes, you know it won't last. His ham alerts are blowing up, no time to wait. Get another park before it is too late. The spotting page lights up with the names he knows. He's tuned in quick before the pile up grows. His call signs known all across the land. When the hunter's on, you'll understand. He's locking them in with a single sound. Another log filled as they all go down. He's the hunter, stalking the air, no time to waste, he's everywhere. Watching the spots, fire in his eye. When he calls you, you can't deny. The hunter's coming, and he's coming fast. Every call he makes, you know it won't last. Yeah, you know it won't last. He's got the gear, he's got the speed. Ham alerts are popping, he takes the lead. With every ping, his legend grows. The hunter's drive never slows. From east to west, no one escapes. He's catching them all like a game of chase. Spot to spot, he's clearing the way. No one stands a chance, no one can stay. He's the hunter, stalking the air. No time to waste, he's everywhere. Watching the spots, fire in his eye. When he calls you, can't deny. The hunter's coming, and he's coming fast. Every call he makes, you know it won't last. And when the day is done and the bands go quiet, still checking spots, stirring up a riot. Ready for the next one, ready for the fight. The hunter's always on, deep into the night. And when the day is done and the bands go quiet, he's still checking spots, stirring up a riot. Ready for the next one, ready for the fight. The hunter's always on, deep into the night.
What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thank you for stopping by, your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Sunday, time for a little bit of shenanigans, some great music, and a whole lot of fun. And before we do that, speaking of fun, we're going to thank the Patreons, including our newest upgrade. My Toy Ostrich decided he was having too much fun in Patreon, and he is now a top activator. Thank you very much for the upgrade. Also, shout out to the YouTube members, the ones in green in the chat, or blue if they're a moderator. And you guys are probably just waiting until tomorrow just to see what your new video will be. That members only video drops every Monday, guys. So if you want to see these special little videos that come out they're normally different than the regular videos, but there's something to watch anyway.
Yeah, they're special.
And then that ever-changing board. Thank you very much, Kent. Q9er Alpha Echo Echo, moving up a spot with your all-stream donation. And thank you very much, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, with your all-stream donation, moving you onto the board. Thanks a lot, guys. Dan, what is going on?
Man, you know what day it is?
It is not Hump Day.
No, it is Shenanigans Sunday, but also Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, all you mother friends out there. And hopefully everybody's doing well on this episode 121 of Shenanigans. And Ronnie was first in the chat. Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu Romeo X-Ray. Good to see you, buddy. Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie. Brian, what's going on? Toby Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta. Hello. Andy Callie, always good to see you, my friend. Kilo Oscar 4 Golf Bravo. What's happening, Mo? Gene McPhee from Killeen, Texas, and 3X US. Mike 88 KB. He said that he got you 2-2. Bands have been rough, but we've been making it, buddy. Brent Kilo, November 4 Bravo Delta Whiskey. How you doing, buddy? And 73 from East Tennessee, Whiskey Zero, Charlie Golf Charlie. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Frequency Frontiers, what's going on, man? KY4 GM, good to see you again. Bob KO4 ZIK. Hello. Martini is in the house. That is the Jumbo Marshmallow. Whiskey Delta 4 Juliet. Mike. Grampy Terry is here. Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. What's going on, buddy? And Bill Duckett, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And hopefully you've been getting some more DX there from the Carolinas. But happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all you mother friends out there. And what's going on, James? Bands have been great, huh?
Oh yeah, the bands are great.
On fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you said I can't remember who you said. Mike said he got me, but here's the thing: I don't know who's got me and who don't got me for today, because I just stopped keeping up with it, and my life is so much better because of it.
That's right.
But I do know that I did a late shift last night, and I'm pretty sure everybody should have gotten me last night, but today not so much, because I'm first off, I stayed up way too late. I am rearranging this studio. I've got major changes going on in here right now, and I'll tell you what, it's going to pay off. I can walk in here now. But there were points in last night that I could not walk in here whatsoever, because I was moving everything around and doing changes. But it's gonna be paying off really good. But I turned on the radio this morning when I finally got it set back up, the station set back up, and there's actually 2 stations set up in here now. But I turned it on, and I went to every single POTA station on the spotting page, and guess what? I didn't hear a single solitary one of them.
And that was about the point you said, I'm not going out to activate right now.
I said, I think I'm going to just keep on working on this room for a while. So I just kept working on the room for a while. I did go out about 3-ish. I figured the band was going to be good. Get to the park, set up the antenna, scrolled the whole entire band. Didn't hear a single person. Not a single. I said, well, here we go. So my spot in POTA was, don't hear a single person on the bands. I think I'll turn them on. There I went. But, hunters are going to hunt. And, I may have only got like 28-ish contacts or so. But I got 28 contacts that I didn't have. And there was quite a few that got me 5-9. Kilo 4 Lima India was a 5-9. Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta was a 5-9. So there were several that got me that were a 5-9.
In the evening time, the bands have been relatively good. I mean, last night the bands weren't bad, but I had a lot of noise because just storms rolling through. But
well, I'm starting to wonder if this 75-year-old Russian space station that's been orbiting here for the last 75 years was giving us good propagation, and all of a sudden when it started wearing out the last couple months, the propagation gets worse and worse and worse. Now it's crashed to the earth, and the band said, I think I'm done with this.
I think you're onto something there. I think you're maybe Putin was the propagation generator.
So I do know West Virginia was in the crash zone. So I'm thinking about getting me a Russian satellite station hunting dog and get him to sniff me out some pieces of it. And I'm going to make a new Russian satellite and put it back up there so we can turn the bands back on.
Put it back up there, and you can have your very own personal satellite repeater.
My own band switch and my own satellite. And so yeah.
Josh says it was earthquake. Yeah. KP3L, what's going on, Mr. Radio? Happy Mother's Day. My Toy Ostrich, I see you snuck in here. Your ears must have been burning. We were talking about you.
But so William asked a question. He said he thinks it would be a good topic for discussion of what would be my favorite antenna for activations, if not already covered. It has been already covered, but we'll say it anyway. My absolute favorite is the Eagle One. I've probably got 250,000 contacts on the Eagle One, so I'm going to say that's my favorite. Here lately, I've been using the Chelagus quite a bit.
I love it.
I mean, I use wires, but I'll be honest with you, and this is where I'm different than every other ham in the world, I think.
You're not
every
normal.
other ham in the world, and especially PP Man screaming wire is king, wire is king. Well, to me, vertical is king, because verticals is now I live in West Virginia though, and vertical has a better takeoff for West Virginia than a wire does.
Down here in the flatlands though, the Cheligans does are really good. So it's with that being said, when I go to Florida, I still kill everything on a vertical. So I like wire antennas. I use them quite a bit now. Now the home station here is a wire antenna. It's one of Chris's antennas, and it does great. But my very favorite would be the Eagle One, and this is why. Because you can go to 40 meters whether there's any band condition or not. It can be in full radio blackout, and you can go to 40 meters, and you're going to talk to some guy over in Zimbabwe that's got a 2 meter out, and he's just somehow he's broke it and it's transmitting on 40 meter frequencies or something. Let me tell you, when I first moved into this house, I didn't have any way to put up my inverted V, my doublet or anything. The first thing I did was took my Eagle One and I put it in the backyard and I strapped it to a fence post, and that's how I got on the air. I love the antenna. That's my go-to piece of wire. So
yeah. Gene McPhee says, "What are some of the easier logging softwares for POTA?" Well, first off, there are only 2 logging softwares for POTA. The rest of them is just gibberish. There is N3FJP and there is Ham 2K. The rest of them are just garbage. I mean, I'm sure there's some that I haven't tried out and that maybe ain't garbage, but
my pencil and paper just don't run out of batteries though.
Pencil and paper is definitely not the easiest, because guess what happens when you write all those down?
Yeah,
you got to upload them.
I like Polo, but I use Polo now exclusively. Before that, I use N3FJP.
Polo is a software that can make you way faster than what you are if you're a fast operator. Like Polo, he took and put a James mod in that thing for people, and it's really sick how fast it can make regular normal people.
You're not normal.
But when I decide that I'm going to use it, it's just beyond like that. We'll put it this way: if I spot at 5 minutes till late shift, you'd be surprised how many's in my log at late shift.
And not only is it good, it's easy to understand. I'm talking about Polo. It's easy to understand. And like any software that you install, it does what you tell it to do, which is important. You don't get any weirdness to it. And there's active development. So if you have a problem with it, or maybe you want something changed, Sebastian is really open to suggestions, and you might find it implement it in a hot fix within just a couple days if he thinks it's a cool idea.
I've not had any problems with it. It's a great software. Now, mind you, I log on a tablet. If
Mhm.
I was using it on my phone, I would have all kinds of problems, and that would be called my fat thumbs. If I'm going to use a laptop, though, N3FJP is bulletproof too.
But hold out for that too. If you're holding out because you have a Windows laptop, Polo is making strides for a Windows version. So just be patient. It's coming.
The only thing, you know what, and maybe Sebastian can fix, do this and totally replace it. I really like when I log in N3FJP that if I messed, like say, I forgot to change a frequency when I went from sideband to CW, and I've got 100 calls that should be on 7044 instead of 7269, and they should say CW instead of sideband. I can go in and bulk edit them there.
Yeah.
And I don't have to go to an ADIF master. I like having all the things in one. But the good news for me is, even when most of the time in the field anymore, I'm using Ham 2K. But when I get home, I put my master log in N3FJP. So if I need to do that edit, I just do it in N3FJP when I put it in the master log and then send it from N3FJP. It's not a big deal. They really complement each other.
Yeah, they do a lot. I know he's working on the Windows version. He's working on the log file syncing stuff too, which will be really cool. So if you log on a tablet or the eventual Windows version and you open it up on your phone, this isn't right now. This is something he's working on. And you open up Polo on your phone, what you logged on your tablet will be there on your phone.
That's cool.
Especially if you have more than one tablet. Say you and Sherry have different tablets. You can have your stuff synced together.
So here we go. Brent, Dayton forecast. Thursday, storms at night. Friday, high 85, partly cloudy. Saturday, high 79, stray thunderstorms. I can promise you it's going to storm at Dayton. It always storms at Dayton. And once it storms, it's going to be the epitome of hot. Like I don't think you felt humidity until you felt inside what I call an airplane hangar in the middle of a field after a thunderstorm in Ohio with 5,000 people walking around in it. It's absolutely, yes. There you go. Robert says that rain is a must at Dayton. It always is. And it'll probably be just like you said, Thursday storms. So everybody will be set up in the flea market, and that whole flea market will be nothing but a mud hole come opening on Friday. So I love Dayton, but the storms are always.
What's NEOS, Gene? Is that based on Linux? Based on Linux, you can probably run it. I just haven't heard of NEOS. Scott, what's up, buddy?
Right. Well, I guarantee that would be the pits. So I'm taking it you are coming to Dayton. It'd be good to see you because I didn't see you in Florida this year.
Yeah, he played hooky from Orlando, didn't he?
He did. But now he did send me Dr. Pepper.
One of his brethrens in the roving community stole his spot. No Dayton.
Oh. Tell him to get married in Dayton. Tell him to get married in Dayton.
Bring him to the Ham Fest. We get married at Cedar Creek.
We'll let the lady who has the antenna hair marry him. Oh.
No, that is
You
great.
know, I would almost guarantee that if somebody wanted to get married in Caesar's Creek, there would be an ordained minister Ham there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. More than likely. More than likely, more than one.
I mean, that's just how Caesar's Creek ends up being. There's always something you need there. Caesar's Creek is the best part of Dayton. But you know what else is good at Dayton? The corn dogs, the corn dog cheese, fried cheese. I don't know how you call it, but fried cheese in a corn dog.
But do they have
the pork chop sandwiches?
Yeah, I've heard about the pork chop sandwiches, but do they have stone fire pizza?
They do not have stone fire pizza.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think I'm ever going to go.
But I can guarantee you that Kilo Charlie 3 Romeo Whiskey will have at least 5 pork chop sandwiches this weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Gene, I know it's an operating system, but what is NEOS based on?
Oh, he's saying can it be used on any operating system?
No, not yet. Because he's coming out with a Windows version. You can use it now on Mac if you have an Apple Silicon chip in your Mac, not the Intel chip. And Linux, I'd assume you can run it on now because that's a standard development type platform. So, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to the Windows version. I think that's going to open his market up and explode tremendously. So, yeah, you can run it on Mac OS now as long as you have Apple Silicon. Silicon. Silicone is for a different shenanigan stream.
One with Terry involved?
One with Terry and Clarice, yes. Alpha Delta 9 and Whiskey Mike. What's going on, Dennis? Welcome to the Nut Show.
So now that Dennis is here, we can talk about something that I've seen, and it's funny because first off, everybody better smash that like button because it's about to get real up in here. So POTA is not a contest, so they say, but there are people like me that like that numbers is a contest with myself.
Well, you're not normal.
And you know, the very, you know, like I said, the very first thing I get into POTA and I go to all time stats and I'm a sideband guy back then. Of course now I do CW, but I'm a sideband guy, and I look and I was like, who has the most sideband contacts? And I see Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Alpha Victor. I was like, one day I'll be there. I'll pass her, and I did. But then I started seeing other numbers that I liked.
Well, wait. Go back to you passed her. What did you do? Did you not take a screenshot and print it out?
I did.
And hand it to her?
I did.
That's epic.
But that's because I was told for 2 years that it would never happen.
That's right.
but anyway, But so then I started getting into these other stats too. I'm like, well, okay, big deal. I have more sideband than everybody. What makes me the best at this? So I got to thinking of, well, if I'm in the top 5 of activations, unique parks, and sideband for the year, that nobody else is going to be that. So I'm going to do that. So that's what I've been doing for the last several years. Now Dennis pulls out these charts the other day, and he's decided that he's going to start declaring this stuff by how many times you've activated and how many QSOs you've gotten divided and give you your average QSO. I'm like, I'm like, that's just cool. I never thought about that one, but it's not. That's never something I will be on the top of.
I talked about this not long ago because I said Juliet Mike is averaging over 100, per activation right now, which is insane. But I talked about yours a little bit, and that your average was in the last time I checked anyway. This was a month ago or so. You were in the mid 60s, I think.
Yeah, when he pulled it the other day, I was in the 60s.
Now, if you think about that for a minute, the number of activations you have, if you're in the mid 60s with the number of rows you have done that you've got 12 and just hauled butt, that says something. If you take all those little 12 park nuggets out of that equation, your average is probably
absolutely. Like if I would have, if from the beginning, if I would have just not been worried about every stat, if I would have just been worried about QSOs.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't worry about the unique parks, I didn't worry about, the most activations. I just sat at a park and activated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my average would be unseen.
And speaking of averages, this is insane. I can go out to a park, Grand Bay, and get and the bands will be dead. I'll get 30 contacts. You can go right behind me, same park, same antenna, same radio, bands are dead. You get 30 contacts. Josh will go out there and get 30 contacts. Brian will go out there and get 30 contacts. Juliet Mike goes out there and gets 144. I don't understand it. It's awesome. It's just she blows it up every time she goes out there.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Good evening, John. AC8XU. Oh, man, I just thought about that call sign in Morse code in my head, and I hate you. I mean, I don't really hate you.
But yeah, it's interesting how everybody, when I seen Dennis's stats, I was like, how everybody gets their own stats in different ways and stuff. And it's really cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sit time. That's exactly what it is. Sit time.
Like somebody who does FT8 all the time could say, well, you're not the POTA king. You suck in FT8. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, let's count all the stats across the top of the board, and let's see where we're all at in any of them. That's what I thought. Shut up.
The Hillbilly Ham is here. Good evening. But yeah, there's so many different ways you can look at different numbers and parks on the air. It's just whatever suits your fancy,
It is. But I mean, don't ever try to be the best at all of them, because I'll tell you,
yeah,
it sucks. It sucks.
It actually sucks sometimes just trying to be the best at one particular part of something.
Oh yeah. Like one day I'm just gonna wake up and be like, I'm gonna be a normal activator.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody put the blood pressure cuff back on him and recheck him if he ever says that.
Well, that's probably what's going to cause me to be a normal activator, probably.
Damn. And you don't realize, a lot of people don't realize how much time and dedication it takes to get to the top of something. So let's take POTA, for instance. James activates like 5-6 parks a day on normal days, not when the bands are totally crappy. But I remember my first full calendar year in POTA, the hunting stats, I pretty much destroyed everything. At the end of that year, it was like, man, I am burnt the hell out. That was a long year of radio. So you got to realize how much time you got to put into something to be the best at it. That's not just radio. That's anything in life,
And here it is, years upon years later, and I just did my stats video. This is how I can rattle this number off. And last month, I averaged 5.45 parks a day.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they were all Panther and Tomlin, right?
Supposedly, allegedly.
That's what your cousin tells me.
I don't know. So, I'll tell you that what's really slows my numbers down. Like that's why I'm in the mid 60s too. Is not just the rows, but the unique parks, because I have to drive so far for unique parks now. And when I go that far, I want to do as many parks are in that area as I can. So I'm quite content with 12 CWs and out, 12 side bands. You know what I'm saying? Just like the other day, the bands were horrible. I went and did two 12s and out. And I was going to do more parks in that area. And I said it wasn't worth the gas because those 12 and outs was taking like 15 minutes. And that's just horrible to me.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Mo. If anybody runs across Kilo 4 Tata today, remind him happy birthday. It is his birthday today. I didn't see you in the chat. Is he here? Or is he out devouring birthday cake? Probably devouring birthday cake.
Brent, I would say there's probably a stat that James would have on that on our set time, but it was technically 51 parks. Don't sell me short, man.
What range of frequencies per band do we use for POTA? I'm trying to wrap my head around your question here. I'm not stalling. Frequencies per band. I don't get that. Are you asking what bands we run? If that's the question, I'll say I've ran all the way from 160 meters to 6 meters. Well, 2 meters, 440. I mean, doing park to parks, but most people will run on 40 and 20. That's just where the densest population of people are going to be listening. But
is there more bands than 40?
Absolutely. You know all about them in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I have been known to do that, sit out there and bang out some QSOs at a park. I did that in Florida where I'd be on the band so long, I literally would have to take a lunch in between sideband and CW.
Yeah. Martini says, try to do all from 10 to 40 every time she goes out. That's true. She tries to hit, she'll do from 10 to 40 and she'll hit 20 last because she knows she's going to be, that's the money band, and that's where she's going to spend the most time.
No wonder if you're wondering why you're getting 30 contacts and she's getting 100, that's why.
Yeah.
You ain't going 10 to 40. You're going 20 and
Dude,
40 at the max.
I can go from microwave to 200. I mean, I can go from the gigahertz microwave band all the way down to 2200 meters, and I'm still not going to get the number of contacts she has. She's like a wizard.
I mean, so that's 10. You do 12 meters too? Because you're saying 10 to 40.
Yeah, she does 12.
Okay, so 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, and 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you when you do that in Georgia, South Georgia, like she's doing that, there's no way you're not getting less than 10 per band. So you're going, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys are in northern Florida is what I call it, and in Florida, I do that same exact thing, and that's why it takes forever when I do that. So,
John says he lives 90 minutes away from Hamvention. That is awesome, dude. Sleep in your own bed. How novel is that?
Yeah, he don't got to worry about the humidity after the thunderstorm. He can go to his air conditioned home.
Absolutely. There's not certain frequencies for use in POTA. There are certain frequencies you want to avoid. The common type frequencies like SSTV frequencies, the common lid frequencies like 7200, the ongoing maritime net that they have 24/7, 365 on 14.300. You want to avoid that.
You gotta avoid the RV whatever network. the one that wants to hold the frequency for like 4 hours and get 2 check-ins the whole time.
Sometimes if you get more towards the top of a sideband section of a band, you start running into AM windows, and those people can get pretty cranky sometimes. But no, there's not a dedicated set of POTA frequencies. Just find one that's free and ask if the frequency is in use. If nobody comes back to you, go for it.
Use it, and don't worry. 10 minutes later, somebody will move in one up from you anyway.
The frequency is in use, dummy. That's right. I got my toy ostrich last night keyed up. I said, "Is this frequency in use?" And he says, "It is, dummy."
That's great.
Yeah, multiple bands is the way to go for sure, because you'll get a lot of people that are in that certain skip zone, like Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania to here is really good for. It's basically nice distance for 40, 20, 17, sometimes 15. So, and at night 80 meters. So that's 4 or 5 bands you can get. Repeat offender.
And a lot of people tell me, like, you're in the perfect spot for 40 meters. That's why you do so good on 40. Well, you're correct. I am in the perfect spot for 40 meters. But you know what? You guys are in the perfect spot for every other band besides 40 meters.
Yeah.
I don't get that luxury. Like, I could go out and do 10 to 40, and I'm not going to get a guaranteed 10, 20, 30 contacts per band. Because I'm lucky to get 1 or 2 when I go to another band besides 40, unless it's 60 or 80 in the evenings. Because that's what people don't understand. The lay of your land is going to determine the way your antenna is taking off too. It ain't just whether it's a vertical or a wire. It's the lay of your land. And when you're in between mountains and they're both close to you, you could say, well, I live in Montana. I got mountains on both sides too. Yeah, one's 350 miles that way and one's 52 miles that way.
Yeah.
I can throw a rock and hit either one of them when I activate. So,
yeah, it's like activating down a valley. 20 meters between here and West Virginia is pretty good.
You get me on 20 meters good when I'm on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Now, if I go on top of the mountains, I can do that. And there are certain parks that is one reason I do like Tomlin, is it is on top of the mountain.
Well, there you go. See, that's why he spends all his time there.
What the stats would say determine that is a lie.
The survey says. Terry says he has an arm like Joe Montana, and said he can throw a football over that mountain.
Terry couldn't throw a football field across his living room.
So what's y'all been getting any of this crappy, thunderstormy weather? Because it's been brutal here today.
Dude, that's all the state has been since I've been back from Florida. It's been one big thunderstorm up here. Like it's always. And Terry's like, "Oh, it's beautiful out today," and I'm like, "It's pouring here."
I'm looking at my band scope on 40 meters right now, and good signals I see, but it's not very crashy. So last night it was very, very crashy. I see a couple crashes, but it
was really crashy last night.
Bad last night.
I look forward to the end of the stream to where I can go out and do an early late, because I need some numbers for today, because that one from earlier didn't count it.
Yeah, it's definitely quieter than it was last night.
Stop picking on Mr. Flounder. No, I'm Mr. Flounder. I'm the flapping flounder.
A hailstorm. Thursday. And yeah, I heard about the earthquake. Did you feel much of it there in Asheville? Well, they say it was like a 4 point something. And for people who aren't used to earthquakes, I guess that feels very, very strong. I've never personally felt one, so I don't know.
Well, Dan, you're in luck.
Uh-oh.
For just about a 6-hour trip, I'd say. I don't know, maybe more than that for you. But you could come to West Virginia, activate in the throne room, then we could go down to Terry's house in the morning when one of his hover round ladies is rolling out of the bed, and you can feel what an earthquake feels like. It's a win-win.
Heck yeah. That's assuming that Terry, charged it up and didn't just leave it on the front porch. So is West Virginia, I don't know what county you live in, Terry, but is your county one of those counties that people leave their hover rounds like in the front yard for a while and they end up having just to mow around it? Like old cars and stuff? You get there in 4 hours? No. Well, it's about 5.5, 6 hours to Murphy. So I'm not sure. I don't know how far it would actually be.
Well, it's about 6.5 to Murphy for me.
Well, let me pull up Zio.
But you wouldn't come. You wouldn't go that way. Terry said he was in Kanawha, Dan.
That's Kanawha, Terry. All right, we're gonna go to Logan County from me. Logan County.
You just put in Chief Logan. That way you're coming to my house.
I just put in Logan County. It's 10.5 hours to Logan County. Now let me see about Chief Logan.
No, it's in Logan County, so.
Well, yeah, but that's a big old county from what I was seeing.
Oh, yeah.
Chief Logan State Park. I don't know if that's it. Is it on Buffalo Creek? Little Buffalo Creek?
Yeah.
Okay. That is, the same. About 10.5 hours.
Yep.
And I'd actually be going sort of the same way almost that we went to Murphy, but not quite. I take says I'd go up to like 40 and then take 28 up, which turns into 81, turns back into 28, and don't mind it.
Hence the me coming to Florida and going by your house was way differently than me going my normal way to Florida.
Yeah. Because
hilarious. Of course you got to go around Atlanta.
Yeah, I have to print out the MapQuest directions. Have my navigator sitting there flipping pieces of paper. Okay, you're going to take a right turn in 214 miles.
Hey, Brent, if you want to make me really happy when you see me Friday, you'll be able to give me an update about that part. Be good, buddy. Have fun at soccer.
That's right. It is Hamvention week.
Yeah, man. Wednesday we will be talking all about it, including some special stuff.
That's right.
Me and Brent and Whiskey One Whiskey Charlie sat in chill pad the other night and was totally dissecting maps about this one park. So
can't make Hamvention this year. Hope to get to Huntsville. You'll probably, to me, Huntsville is just the Hamfest. It's not the biggest. It's definitely not the biggest. It's the most chill, though.
Here's the thing about the Hamfest. I like all three Hamfests.
Yeah.
Because all three Hamfests are different. There are parts that I hate about all three Hamfests as well. If I had to,
go ahead.
It would be hard for me to do an overall score and tell which. The friendliest by far is Huntsville.
Yeah, and I've started to see what you were talking about, Orlando, and I imagine Dayton is worse than Orlando, but more work.
Dayton is tremendously more work than Orlando.
And Huntsville, there's still stuff to do as far as work, but it's more of a nonchalant kind of.
Yes. Huntsville's a vacation work day for me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm on half day or something.
Yeah.
like because it's only 2 hours. It's only 2 days for one, and everything's combined in that one little area. It's just so it's
air conditioned. Air conditioned. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That was it definitely has its up points. Now Orlando and Dayton, they have all the big vendors like that you don't necessarily see in Huntsville.
Yeah.
And even the ones that you do see in Huntsville, they have full booth setups, not just little partial booth setups.
Yes, Huntsville, Ontario, Brian. You go to Huntsville, Ontario in August and you wait first.
Shelby did used to be one of the biggest,
and
it's kind of fizzled out. It really has. Orlando's traffic sucks. I'll give you that.
Yes,
very much. I've learned to work the. Here's the thing: I've learned to work the traffic, and I always go in the back end of the park, it's not that bad for me. Plus, I'm going an hour before the Hamfest opens because I can get in early, so that helps me.
This is what I love about Orlando traffic. I say, James, where do y'all want to eat? He says, Wingstop. So I plug in Wingstop to my GPS. I said, oh, sweet. It's only 5 miles away. 28 minutes. What?
Yeah. Their traffic's pretty bad. I got to say, but here's the thing. If you don't like traffic though, if you don't get to Dayton majorly early, you are setting in some traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a set still. And then the traffic inside the buildings, because there's more hover rounds in Dayton than at a Terry dating convention.
Relax, Terry. Relax.
Like that's why Terry disappears. I never see Terry when he goes to Dayton, because he's either hitting on the girls that's on the hover round or he's asking the guys what kind of engines they got in them.
Dayton remote parking and the shuttle. Yeah. Well, see the thing. All right. See, so Orlando, I believe, has some parking shuttles as well. But I like to get there super early before everybody gets packed in, because I just like to be able to walk to my own truck and not have to wait for somebody to take me to my truck if I have to go get something. That's just me personally, though. Maybe I just don't like to rely on other people for stuff. Yeah, the testing Orlando was pretty far away. Yeah, that was like on the other side of the whole complex.
Where was the testing?
Oh, like way off there. Like where Scott had his car, you would go out that gate, but you would get on one of their golf carts and they take you there. And it was it was an easy 10-minute golf cart ride. I mean, it was quite a distance.
Well, I've never tested in Dayton, but I have seen signs. I think they test across the street on the like you got the whole fairground exits and all that stuff, and then they're across the street. And I could be wrong about that, but I have seen signs that says ham test over there. So
Yes, Terry would hit on you, Bill. For
absolutely, sure. If you're riding the hover around, he's gonna hit on you, bud.
Ronnie says it is across the street, and that's where he got his extra.
I thought so. I thought it was across the street. So
Yeah, if you're going to Dayton to test, now you know where it is, and good luck.
Yeah, honestly, I think my favorite part of Dayton is the Caesars Creek experience, because it's a whole state park where pretty much the whole entire campground, and it's a big campground. I mean, a big campground, and pretty much everybody in there is a ham that weekend. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, Montesano's the same way. Everybody in there's a ham, but I've activated both of them. You'll get 4 times the parks up there in Dayton.
But it's
obligatory. They're all at my campsite activating, one of the two.
But it's obligatory in Dayton, from what I hear, that it has to rain at least one of the days.
Oh yeah, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed, and it's so humid after it does.
Yeah,
like I can remember when I went out west last year, and it was really hot out west, but there was no humidity, and I was loving it. I wasn't even sweating. It was like 100 degrees, and I wasn't even sweating. But we were on our way back, and the second we went into Ohio, I rolled down the window for a second and thought I was going to die.
It's like you're breathing water. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I rolled down the window, and Terry comes in and throws that bucket of water on me again. That was a members only video, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ronnie said they will shuttle you.
That's cool.
So, anybody taking an upgrade or a license test in Dayton?
I'm not quite prepared for my Ultra Extra. And I believe you can only take that in West Virginia. So I might have to hold off on that one.
Hey, Roving Tax, thank you very much for the super chat, Roving Tax. And hopefully you get as many rows as you want to. Are you doing like your 26 or something?
Knocking out a lot of them. He needs to finish activate all of Alabama within his first year of being a POTA activator. That's awesome. Yeah,
me and him had a long talk, and you know what? I'm gonna say it right here. So if he follows my advice, people can blame me instead of him. He has several big rows left to finish all of Alabama. It's like a 26 and a 20 something. And he was asking me about it. And I told him, I said, because he's like, people want me to hop the different bands and get them. I said, don't do it. You post in Discord, you're doing a row, you're doing 12 and out, you're doing one band. You got to do your goal.
Yeah.
Your goal is more important than satisfying everybody. Because when you try to satisfy everybody, you end up with high blood pressure and about to kill yourself.
Yeah, right.
I mean, think about it. When I did my American Rove, my 42 park Rove, which by the way, there was way more set in time in that 42 park Rove than there was in the 51 for whoever answered that question. But they were all, pretty much 12 and outs besides the last 2 because I had extra time.
Yep. You had plenty of extra time. Plenty.
I did have plenty of extra time. I could have done a 50 then. If I would have waited out, I could have done a 50 then. because I did have plenty of extra time. The last two parks, but the last park, I think I spent an hour and a half in.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as you were busting through them, it was probably about 3:34 in the morning or something like that. And I was just doing a little bit of mental math of how long you're staying in them, how many you had left. I'm like, man, he is way ahead of the schedule that he thinks.
Yeah, the average activation was 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that was all about same way we set up the Rove. It was all about having Discord help you. Discord is the key. Yeah, you don't, Brian. You never know till the end. And the thing was, it was only supposed to have been a 40, and I think I set 43, and one of them ended up being closed, and then I got the extra 2. So
I think there was only 1 or 2 twofers in there too.
Yeah, I think there was 2 twofers.
2 twofers. 2
Was well executed, just like the one in Canada was. We had plenty of extra time there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, you had enough time to make a video before you did your last activation.
Yeah. So it was all fun, and there was a couple of spots we went and took pictures at some waterfalls and stuff like that. So it wasn't just, and none of those were 12 and outs. We pretty much got everybody that was hanging around for us.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple times we did 2 bands. It's a different Rove game up there for sure. And I don't know if I would have smuggled a moose out of the country. Just my luck, it would get here and be constipated because it's just not doing it for me.
You're still wanted.
Yeah, that they got to prove they got to prove it.
And check out the nice flowing Canadian beard he had going on there.
Yeah, I definitely had the Canadian beard.
Yeah.
I did 150 parks in a month. I didn't have a lot of time to shave. Okay.
Right. I didn't say it looked bad. I said a nice flowing Canadian beard. That's right. We are approaching the top of the hour. And as Josh just said, Brian is on 7185. So turn on your rigs, get on 40 meters, go hunt them, help them out with his Rove.
There we go. I'll probably do that and then head out and do an early late shift myself. So good deal. Terry's radio's working because he got him 3-3, he said.
Is he that low? No. He is kind of, isn't he?
Roger. Yeah, you got.
That wasn't him. But anyway.
That ain't a 3-3 to me. But
well, hopefully everybody driving to Dayton this week has a safe travels, and hopefully you have a fun weekend. Remember, it's going to rain at least one day for sure. It's always supposed to be. And stay hydrated in the heat. Have fun.
Absolutely. And don't forget to hang out with us on Wednesday night for the stream. We'll be talking all about it, and as well as giving you some insight to something you're going to want to do when you're at Dayton. That's all I'm going to say about that. Other than that, I'm heading out. Tomorrow I will drop not only a YouTube members video, but I also will drop my monthly video for everybody else to watch as well. And I'll be out activating. So hopefully get everybody I need to get. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll catch everybody on the air. 73.
See you.